Hi, I'm Arase with AMOS Tax Services LLC. I help creators, influencers, entertainers, and small business owners understand their tax responsibilities, especially the mistakes that lead to IRS issues. I go live every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. breaking down these topics so you can avoid problems before they start. If that's relevant to you, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future sessions. And feel free to share this with anyone who would benefit from understanding how this works. Today, we're going to walk through 5 tax mistakes influencers make and what you should be doing instead. So let's go. If you're an influencer or making money online and no one has explained taxes to you, you're probably going to owe the IRS. And usually what happens is everything feels fine until it's not. You're getting paid, you're growing, things are exciting. And taxes are kind of the thing in the background. Like, I'll deal with that later. And then later shows up with a number you weren't expecting. That's usually when people find me. And well, you know the rest, I think. But this is for anyone making money from content or performance. That could be TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, OnlyFans, or entertainers such as musicians, performers, speakers. If you have a speaking event, you can make money on that. If money is coming in because of your audience, this is you. And honestly, I've seen people making a few thousand, and I've seen people making 6 figures, making the exact same mistakes. The biggest difference between you and a regular job. So let's say you decided that you wanted to venture the world and be your own boss because you hate your boss. And so now you're your own boss and no one is taking taxes out for you. At a job, everything is handled quietly in the background. Here, as the new business person, entrepreneur, you are the system, which is great until you realize you are also responsible for everything that system normally does. That's where things start slipping. And the tricky part is this doesn't feel like a problem at first. Hmm. Nobody emails you like, hey, just a heads up, you're building a tax issue. Mm-mm. It just builds quietly until one day it's not small anymore. The first mistake is not reporting all income. And with creators, income is everywhere. You have brand deals, affiliate links, TikTok payouts, YouTube ads, Cash apps, Venmo, tips, gifts, and it goes on and on and on. And what happens is people remember the big money, but the smaller streams, they disappear or they forget. I just had a situation where someone said, I only made like $40,000. And then we looked closer, and there were like six different income streams. And it was actually closer to $70,000. And it wasn't because they were hiding anything. They just didn't realize how many places money was coming from. Well, you probably have been in that situation, or some of you are wondering, well, how many streams do I have? That's very common. One of the biggest things I hear is, I didn't get a 1099. So I thought it didn't count. I wish that was how it worked. That would make life much easier. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. Income doesn't disappear just because the form didn't show up. Um, so, a quick reality check. If I asked you right now, how many income streams do you actually have? Huh, just think about that. Would you confidently know? Or would you be like, a few, I think, maybe? That hesitation right there, that's where the problems start. The second mistake is thinking free stuff doesn't matter. No. And this one always gets reactions because people are like, wait till my promotional packages matter. Hmm? My free trips matter. Like, I took a trip to Indonesia in January. Does that count? Um, hmm, and the answer is it depends, but it can. I always joke that free $2,000 bag might not be that free, or that shoe, or the shoes that you receive for like $575. That too may not be free, because the real question is, why did you receive it? Um, if it's tied to promotion, your content, your brand, that's where tax issues can come in. But here's the real issue: nobody is tracking this. So later, it's like trying to remember, wait, what did I get again? You're scratching your head trying to remember. And that's where things get messy. Um, the third mistake: not paying taxes during the year. You probably, tax season just finished last week. I'm still recovering. For those of you that were hit with a big surprise, you probably understand where I'm going with this. And this is the one that hurts the most, because everything feels fine until tax season. Then it's like, wait, I owe how much? Yeah. Some of you probably know that feeling very well. And it's not that something went wrong, it's that nothing was being paid along the way. I've seen people go from I'm doing great financially to I owe a number I wasn't prepared for very quickly. And that shift is stressful. I just had a client that had an issue with that. And that was not a nice sight or experience on my end. Um, because now it's not just about taxes, it's about figuring out how to handle it. You may not have funds to uh, pay your tax liability, and that's stressful. And we, as professionals, we have to help you uh, be aware of the types of plans and how we can solve your problem or help you solve that problem. So you can have funds that are reasonable on your end to make the payment against your tax liability. The fourth mistake is everything is a write off. And this one comes from the internet. Ah, and you'll probably hear, oh, just write it off. I hear that all the time. Um, but nobody explains what that actually means. Just because something shows up in your content doesn't automatically make it deductible. And I am going to upload some publications on that, so that way if any of you decide that are questioning the deductibility of certain items, you can at least have some guidance on what you can and cannot deduct. But as I was saying, just because something shows up in your content, it doesn't automatically make it deductible. So posting your outfit doesn't make your entire wardrobe a business expense. um, this is where a lot of gray areas come in. And I'm going to emphasize the word gray, 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 because it is such a gray area. And this is where I see people unintentionally create risk. So that gray area is a very gray area. And I will probably elaborate on that in a future video or a future live session, I should say. And the fifth mistake is ignoring the situation. This usually looks like I'll deal with it next year, or I just need to get more organized first, or I don't even want to look at it right now. And so you receive a notice, an IRS notice saying, giving you warnings, various warnings, because it's not one, it's a cycle that of letters that go out to you. And you take them and you either hide them under your mattress, or you take them and you put them away on the shelf and you forget about them. And honestly, I get it, because once it feels overwhelming, the easiest thing to do is avoid it. But when it's ignored, it doesn't stay the same, it grows. So you'll get more notices and you'll have more stress. And eventually, it becomes something that needs to be addressed. You'll see penalties increase. You'll see interest accrue more so than last month. Um, so if you recognize yourself in any of these, hint, hint, even just one, hint, 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 that's your sign to take a closer look. Um, if you recognized yourself in anything we went through today, even just one piece, that's usually a sign that you should take a closer look at your situation. And if you're making money online and you're not sure where you stand, you can book a private consultation with me. No problem. I will have a booking link uh, in somewhere down there in my YouTube guide, if you will. Um, and in that conversation, we'll go over your situation at a high level, identify any immediate risks, and I'll guide you on what the next steps should be. So you're not guessing and you're not waiting until this turns into something bigger. This is really for people who are already making income. And I want to handle this, properly. If they want to handle this properly, this is really for people who are already making income. Um, the earlier you address this, the easier it is to fix. Excuse me, pardon me. Um, Waiting usually makes it more complicated. And so I'll stay on for a few minutes, then answer questions. Just keep them around creator income and taxes. But if this applies to you, don't wait. Please don't wait. Go ahead and book a consultation so we can go through it properly. All right. So any questions?